Hello, we continue our lesson on mensuration, and this time around we are going to look at the area and perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, and perimeter of a rectangle. So this board can be an example of how a plane figure is in a rectangular shape. Okay, so a rectangle is a four-dimensional figure, all right, like this. Okay, where each interior angle is 90 degrees. So here is 90, and then 90, and then we have 8 length here. Okay, and then 8 width. All right, or the width can be the same as the breadth. Okay, so if you don't see width and then you see the breadth, is the same thing. Okay, so this is the length and then this is the width or the breadth. All right, so we are going to look at the area and then we look at what the perimeter. So area of a rectangle can be given as what? Can be given as the length times the width. Okay, the length times the width or the breadth. So L times W or L times B. All right. And what we should know about rectangle is that for a rectangle, the opposite sides are parallel and equal. Okay, so this side here is the same as this side, and then this side is also parallel to this side, and they are also what? And they are also equal. So if here is length, here is also the same length, and then here is also what? The same width. So that is also about what? About a rectangle that you have to take note of. The opposite sides are parallel and then they are also what? And they are also equal. And each interior angle is 90 degrees. Is that okay? Alright. So the area of the rectangle is length times the width, or the length times the breadth. Alright. Then let's look at the perimeter. The perimeter of a rectangle. So perimeter of a rectangle is equal to the perimeter of a figure is the distance around the figure. Okay, so if I look at the rectangle, I'll have the length plus the width plus the length plus the width. Okay, so L plus W plus L plus W, that is the distance around the figure. Okay, length plus width plus length plus width. All right, then my length plus length will give me 2 of the length, my width plus width will give me 2 of the width. Is that okay? Then I can factorize 2 out and I get L plus width W. So the perimeter of a rectangle is 2 multiplying the length plus the width, or 2 times the length plus 2 times what? The width, and that will give you the perimeter of a rectangle. Alright, so this is about the perimeter and then the area of a rectangle. Okay, and then with a rectangle we can have the diagonal. Okay, the diagonal is a line drawn from one vertex of the rectangle to the other. So either from this particular vertex, okay, to this vertex. So this can be what? This can be the diagonal of the rectangle. All right, and when we are asked to find the diagonal of the rectangle too, and this is my diagonal D. Okay, so if I'm asked to find the length of the diagonal, then the length of the diagonal, you see, the moment you have your diagonal, the line from one vertex to the other, okay, or it can be from here to here. All right, the moment you have your diagonal like this, then what it means is that the diagonal will divide what? The triangle, the rectangle into two equal halves. All right. So this side become the same as this side. The reason being that the length will become the same as the length, and then the width will become the same as the width here. Here is 90, here is 90. Okay, so if I'm finding the length of the diagonal, then the length of the diagonal will imply that, okay, the diagonal here, you see, and this has become, this triangle here will become what? A right angle triangle. This one here also be a right angle triangle. As I said, this is the same as this. Okay, so the length of the diagonal, if I want to find, and I know the length of the triangle and I know the width, then the length of the diagonal becomes what? Become the hypotenuse, because here is 90 degrees. So this will become a triangle. Okay, so this becomes the hypotenuse. And if this becomes I can apply what the Pythagoras theorem. So my d square is going to be what? L square plus w square, where I can say that the diagonal is square root of L square plus w square. Alright. So if you also want to find the length of the diagonal, then this is how you can also find the length of the diagonal. Okay. You apply the Pythagoras theorem and find the length of the diagonal. So I believe you have learned something on the rectangle. We are going to solve some questions right now. Alright. Okay, so let's look at these examples. Alright. Number one, the area of a rectangle is 60 centimeters squared. If the length is s plus 4 centimeters and the breadth is 5 centimeters, find the value of s. So we will look at them one by one. All right. So number one, we are given the area as 60, and we are given the length as s plus 4, and we are given the breadth as 5. We are finding the value of x. So we know that area of a rectangle. Okay, so here we're given length and breadth. Okay, or it can be length and width. So it's the length times the breadth. Okay, and the area was given as well 60. It means that 60 centimeters is equal to the length times the breadth. So the length is what? S plus 4 multiplied by the breadth, which is what? Which is 5. So I can put it here. Okay. So I can say 5 multiplying the breadth, which is the length, which is s plus 4. Alright. So the length is s plus 4, and then the breadth is what? 5. So they are multiplying. Okay, you can write it like this. So it means that my 60 is equal to 5 times x will give me 5x. 5 times 4 will give me what? 20. And then I'll have 60 minus 20 to be equal to what? 5x. Alright. And what is 60 minus 20? That is 40. Is equal to 5x. So what will be the value of x? Divide through by 5. So 40 divided by 5 will give me what? Will give me 8. Alright, so the value of s is 8. Since s is in centimeters, so that will be 8 centimeters. So simple. You are giving the length and you just multiply the two and equate it to the area, and then you get the value of x. Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 2, the length of a rectangle is 10 centimeters. If the perimeter is 28 centimeters, find its area. Okay, so you are giving the length, you are giving the perimeter to find the area. So you go to your perimeter. Okay, so what is perimeter of a rectangle? Can be given as 2 times the length plus the width or plus the breadth. So this is the perimeter of what? Of a rectangle. Alright, okay, so if that is my perimeter, then I'm giving the perimeter as 28. So I can say that 28 is equal to 2 times, what was I giving? I was giving the length. So the length is 10 plus the width. Okay, So that's what I'm doing here. I'm finding the area. So if I want to find the area, I am giving the length. Okay, so it means that I need the width or I need the breadth. So that with the width or the breadth, since I know the one of the dimension, which is the length, then I can find the area. So I'm using the perimeter to find the width. Then when I get the width, I can find the area. Is that okay? Alright, so here, if you like, you can divide 2 by 2, or you can expand this any way you want to do it. You get the same answer. So 28 is equal to 2 times 10 will give me 20. 2 times that will give me 2w. Then I'll have my 28 minus 20 to be equal to 2w. And what is 28 minus? That is 8. So 8 is equal to 2w. And what will be my w? My w, divide 2 by 2. So 8 over 2 give me 4. So what it means is that the width is 4 centimeters. Alright. And you are finding the area. So if the width is 4 centimeters, then what will be the area? And then the length is 10. So therefore, area of the rectangle. We know the area is what? The length times the width. So what is the length? 10 centimeters. And what is the width? We have 4. So that will give a 10 for 40. So 40 centimeters squared. So simple. 40 centimeters squared. So we have used the perimeter to find the width. And then since we also have the length already, you multiply the two to get the area of the rectangle. Is that okay? So let's go to number 3. Number 3. The breadth of a rectangle is 6 centimeters and its diagonal is 10 centimeters long. Find its area. Okay. So we are giving the breadth and we are giving the diagonal to find what? To find the area. So what will help us is that we are going to use the diagonal to find the length. So that when you get the length, you multiply the length by the breadth to get the area. Okay, so if you want to find the diagonal, if you like, you can draw at your rectangle. Okay. But we know that the diagonal is also equal to what? The diagonal can be equal to the square root of the length square plus the width square or the breadth square. Diagonal can also be equal to this. Or if you like to, you can draw your rectangle and then you put the dimensions there and then you get your answer. Alright. So if I draw my rectangle, this is my diagonal. I was giving the diagonal as what? 10. So I put here 10 centimeters. Okay. Alright. And I was giving the breadth as 6. So I have my 6 centimeters. So I'll find the length. Is that okay? So I will say that using the Pythagoras theorem, my 10 square is equal to L square plus C square. 10 square is 100. L square plus C square is 36. Then 100 minus 36 is equal to what? Your L square. And what is 100 minus 36? You give me 64. So my L is going to be square root of 64. And square root of 64 will be what? 8. So 8 centimeters. So it means that the length is what? 8 centimeters. And I can find the area. You say that therefore area of the rectangle is equal to the length, which is 8, times the breadth, which is 6. So what is 8 times 6? That is 48 centimeters square. So our area is 48 centimeters square. It's 48 centimeters square. Alright. So this is our area. Okay, let's look at last 2 questions on this. Is that okay? Alright. Okay, let's look at these 2 questions also. So for the length of a rectangular field is 15 centimeters longer than the width. If the perimeter is 380 meters, find the length of the field. Okay. So So the length of a rectangular field is 15 longer than the width. Okay, so if let's consider, let the width, we don't know the width, let the width be equal to W. If the width is W, the question said the length is 15 centimeters longer than the width. So it means that the length, okay, will be equal to what? 15 more than the width. So width plus 15. So the question said that the length is 15 centimeters longer than the width. So if the width is W, then the length is what? 15 plus W, because the length is 15 more than the width. All right. And it says if the perimeter is 380, find the length of the field. Okay. So the perimeter is 280. And what is the perimeter? So perimeter of a rectangle, you know, so 2 times the length plus the width. So this is the perimeter, and we are giving the perimeter as what? As 380. So you see that 380 meters is equal to 2 times. So you open your bracket. So here, what is your length? Your length is W plus 15. So we have W plus 15 plus, so what is your width, which is W? Okay, so we have this. All right, so 2 times the length plus the width. Okay, therefore it implies that 380 is equal to 2 multiplying W plus W give me what? 2W plus 15. All right, so 2 is multiplying this. So if you like, you can divide 2 by 2 so that you get rid of the 2, and then you continue, or you can expand. So let's divide 3 by 2. So 380 divided by 2 will give us 190. Okay, so if I divide 3 by 2, that will give me 190 to be equal to 2W plus 15. So here by 2 cancels out, and 2 divided by 3 is 190. So that now we can find the width. Alright, so I'll have 190 minus 15 to be equal to 2W. And what is 190 minus 15? It will give me 175. So 175 is equal to 2W. Then let's divide through by 2. So W will be equal to 175 divided by 2. Okay. So 175 divided by 2 will give us 87.5. So the width is 87.5 meters. That is our width. And the question says we should find the length. Alright. So you can see that. Therefore, you can see length of the field. Okay, length of the field is equal to, what is the length, or what were we given for the length? Length is W plus 15. So to get the length of the field, it is, what is our W? 87.5 plus 15. And we get the length of the field. So 87.5 plus 15. And that will give us 102.5 meters. So the length of the field is 102.5 meters. 102.5 meters. I think this is understood. Very clear. Okay. So let's look at the last one. Okay, so the last question. What is the length of a rectangular garden whose perimeter is 32 centimeters and area is 30 centimeters squared? So here we are given the area and we are given the perimeter, and we are asked to find out the length. All right. Okay, so we know we are using the area and the perimeter. So area of a rectangle is our length times the breadth. Okay, so what is our area here? 39 centimeters squared. So we can see that length and breadth LB is equal to what? 39 centimeters squared. Okay, so what are we finding? We are finding the length of the rectangular garden. So since we are finding the length, then here what we do is that let's make the breadth the subject. Okay, so that our breadth can be equal to what? So if I'm making breadth the subject, then to be 39 divided by the length, and let me call this one as what? As equation 1, so that when I'm solving the question, I'll get the question involving the length, and I can find the length of what? Of the garden. So since we are solving the question and you are finding the length, I think it is better to make breadth the subject, so that you can solve involving the length and can get your answer easily. Alright, so area is length times breadth equal to 39. So breadth will be equal to 39 divided by the length. Alright, so that is equation 1. Let us put that one down. Then we are giving what? The perimeter as 32. So we also say that perimeter of a rectangle is what? 2 times length plus the breadth. Okay, so what were we given as perimeter? 32. So it means that our 2 times length plus breadth will also be equal to 32. Okay, so here too, let's make breadth the subject, so that we can equate the two and solve and get the value of what? The value of the length. I think that would be so simple. So in the first place, let's divide through by 2. Okay, so 32 divided by 2 will give us what? Will give us 16. Alright, so we can say that length plus breadth is equal to 32 divided by 2, 16. Okay, so we get the length plus the breadth to be equal to 16. Then how can we say, let's make breadth the subject? Our breadth is going to be what? 16 minus the length. Then we put this one down as what? Equation 2. So here too, if you want to, you make breadth the subject, and your breadth will be equal to 16 minus the length, and you get your equation 2. Is that okay? So we have breadth as 39 over L. We have breadth as 16 minus L. So if you like, you can equate these two and find the value of what? And find the value of the length. Okay, so what you can say is that put B in equation 1 into equation 2. Okay, so in equation 1, B is 39 over L. So you can say we are substituting equation 2. 39 over the length is equal to 16 minus the length. Alright, so 39 over the length is equal to 16 minus the length. So we substitute the breadth in equation 1 here into equation 2, and then we get this particular equation here. Is that okay? Then after that, let's multiply through by the length. So if I multiply through by the length, I'll get 39 to be equal to length times 16 L minus length times length to give me L square. Alright, so what it means here is that I'm going to get a quadratic equation, quadratic trinomial. Alright, so to make it simple, let me bring, because the square side of the L is negative, let me bring all at this side so that I can make it positive and it will be simple for us. Okay, so if I bring it at this side, the L here become positive, become L square, then the 16 here become negative, minus 16L, and remember the 39 here is positive, so plus 39 equal to 0. So that is what I have here. The L square here will come here to be positive, negative, minus 16 here is positive, come here to be negative, then the 39 is already positive, plus 39 equal to 0. Okay, so here we are getting quadratic. Okay, so since we have quadratic, let me continue from this side. Then the coefficient of the L square is 1. Alright, then you multiply by the constant, which is 39. Okay, then you find 2 factors of 39. When you add, it will give you what? Minus 16. Minus 16. And I think the 2 factors will be negative 3 and then negative 13. So the two factors can be negative 3 and negative 13. Alright, because negative 3 times negative 13 will give me 39. At the same time, negative 3 plus negative 13 will give me negative 16. So if I want to factorize this, then this will become, since I have negative 3 and then negative 13, this can become what? L minus 3 and then L minus 13 equal to 0. So that when you expand this, you have to get back this. L times L give me L squared. L times minus 13 give me minus 13L. Minus 3 times L minus 3L. So minus 13 minus 3 give me minus 16. Minus 3 times minus 13 give me positive 39. Okay, so my L minus 3 equal to 0, which means the length can be what? 3. We're given centimeters, okay. Or my L minus 13 is equal to 0, which means the length can also be 13 centimeters. Alright, so the length of the field is either 3 centimeters or 13 centimeters. So we have two values for that, two values for the length. So the length can be 3 centimeters or 13 centimeters. We're asked to just find the length. Okay. So assuming that you are supposed to find the breadth, definitely we are also going to get two answers for the breadth. Alright. If I'm supposed to find the breadth, I can use equation 1. So if I'm supposed to find the breadth, then my breadth will be what? 39 over. That is if L is equal to 3. So if L is equal to that, to be 39 over 3. And what to be 39 divided by 3? That will give me 13. And if L is equal to 13, then my breadth can also be what? 39 on 13. And that will also be equal to what? That will be equal to 3. So if the length is 3, then the breadth is 13. If the length is 13, then the breadth is what? The breadth is 3. Is that okay? So that is our answer. Okay. So this is about rectangle. We'll meet again and then we'll solve some past questions. Okay. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.